The Whiskey Rebellion. George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, and the frontier rebels who challenged America's newfound sovereignty. By William Hogeland. Narrated by Simon Vance. Copyright 2006 by William Hogeland. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with William Hogeland and the William Morris Agency, and was produced in the year 2006 by Tantor Media, Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. Prologue. The President, the West, and the Rebellion. President Washington was traveling home to Virginia in June of 1794 when he got hurt. He was 16 months into his second term. He'd hoped to avoid serving it. At 62 he had begun to feel irretrievably old. He kept catching low-grade, lingering fevers. His inflamed gums endured the pressure of tusk and hinged steel. Rifling through papers, he looked for proof of things people claimed he'd said, waving off polite reminders from subordinates who, the President could see, were shaken by pinholes in his memory. He'd been embodying Republican judgment for so long that what might have been oppressive requirements of office, audiences, dinners, dances, teas, seemed to come naturally. In black velvet or purple satin, his huge frame, still magnificently straight, could endow any occasion with serenity and seriousness, with grace. Yet what George Washington really had to do all day was apply his enormous capacity for administrative thoroughness to a pile of awful problems that grew more numerous all the time. They were problems of mere survival. The Royal Navy was seizing U.S. ships. The British Army declined to evacuate forts on U.S. soil. Indian wars brought terrible carnage and no progress. Washington had been harried throughout his first term by battles within his own cabinet. Secretary of State Thomas Jefferson and Secretary of the Treasury Alexander Hamilton undermined each other and, inevitably, Washington's efforts. Yet both men had been essential to him. Now Jefferson had quit to lead the nation's first opposition party. Hamilton, still in the cabinet, ever more essential, led the party in power. Of all dangers to the new nation, Washington was sure that party politics would be the deadliest. So he was relieved to be able to get home at all this spring. The trip would be so brief that Mrs. Washington had remained in Philadelphia, and when traveling without her, Washington liked to push the pace, keeping the journey to 5 days. Yet the weather was hot, the horses out of shape, and presidential travel a production. The President's light, long-distance coach went bouncing over ruts.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?